What's up, guys? It's your boy Beatty back again with another video. Today I wanted to talk about gear, okay? Gear talk. I get a lot of DMs and inquiries regarding gear, okay? Obviously, when it comes to bodybuilding competition, there's going to be use of supplementation. And some of the conversations I have and some of the inquiries I get, people really have gear backwards. They just don't understand it. And the issue is a lot of these young guys really think they get it. I don't know where I'm a young guy too, but I'm talking about like below 25 and probably younger. But they have this confidence and kind of I don't even know the word. They're like blissfully ignorant. Like they think they know so much, but they don't understand anything. They think just because they watch some of these videos of these guys with 17-inch arms, no legs, with syntholed up arms, that they get it. And because there's guys on YouTube that say this is what pros do, this is what these guys do, like no hate or shade. Like, I don't think these guys are bad guys or anything, but like, let's say the more plates, more dates guy, right? I don't watch enough of his videos, or I haven't seen enough of his videos to really know like too much about him. But from what I've seen, he has this like brainiac demeanor. Like he's so smart and he's so much smarter than all the pros, and he's this genius, and it really sounds like he's kind of regurgitating things he read on Google. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a couple of Google searches and learned these, cool sounding words that, kind of read up on these profiles and make it sound, good. There's nothing wrong with reading up on profiles. You should get a base knowledge, but regurgitating those words doesn't make you smarter in reality, right? Just because you know these technical terms, you should know these things. But just because you know these things doesn't mean you're like you're this super guru and you know everything. Like a lot of it, there's a lot to be said about experience. There's coaches who don't have a lot of practical knowledge and textbook knowledge, but they know exactly what they need to do or what for themselves and their clients to get them looking crazy, right? But he kind of comes off arrogant, like he just knows everything and he's just always right, and he has the secret formula. And I think that's one of the issues we have. It's like he makes these videos talking about this is what this guy takes, or I think this guy takes this. Like, you don't know what anybody takes. Like, why are you guessing and assuming what people take? It's like, even if it's all done out of fun, it's like, I think it's disrespectful, first of all, and it's like, what's the point of this? Yes, it gets views, and I get it. You got to make money, and I'm all for making money, but it's just in poor taste, and it makes people. There's people that are not that smart and young and impressionable, and they see it, and they're like, well, if that's what Mark Wahlberg does, then I'm gonna do it. And I mean, I'm kind of ranting here, but it's not about him. This video isn't about him in particular. I'm just talking about in general. Like, people have this know-it-all mentality, a lot of these young guys, and they just don't understand how gear works, okay? Let's stop this what pros do thing, okay? Oh, look at Dallas's blood work, his autopsy. He was on 5 grams of test and 5 grams of tren. Look, it says it in the blood work. You can't look at somebody's blood work and look at their test levels and then use some kind of formula to figure out exactly how much dose of every anabolic and androgen they're taking. It doesn't work like that, okay? I can take 500 milligrams of test and you can take the same thing, and our results will be can be completely different. It doesn't work that way. So I can't say, well, look at his levels. Test levels is, wow, 50,000. Wow, okay. That's not the exact number. I'm just giving an example. Wow. So if I calculate it, that means he's on 5 grams of tests or 10 grams of tren. It doesn't work that way, okay? I'm not saying Dallas didn't abuse drugs, because to an extent Every bodybuilder does, right? But stop acting like you know what he took, or you can write down his cycle because of the blood work from the autopsy. You know what I'm saying? And you can't take that and then say, well, that's what all pros are doing. Because if you're over 300 pounds, that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, okay? But let me get to the point of the video, what I wanted to really talk about. People are so infatuated with gear that it's like they forget about everything else, right? It's like this: when you first start training, right, you're working out and you're making progress, you know, newbie gains, whatever you want to call it. You're making progress just from lifting weights. Your diet is probably shit. You're probably barely eating, or you're eating junk food, but you're still making progress, right? Because building muscle, it comes from, you know, it comes from stimulation. You stimulate the muscles, you feed it, it grows. Okay, it's very basic. Okay, so just because you start doing gear doesn't mean you completely just forget about that and just focus on taking as much gear as possible, and that's your only variable from now on. Now I'm using gear. Gear is my only variable. Want to get bigger? Gear. Want to get shredded? Gear. Want to be rounder, fuller? Gear. Smaller waist? Gear. Bigger arms? Gear. Like, everything can't just be gear. That can't be the only variable out of anywhere. You have to push every other variable till its peak with a certain dose before you change it. So if I'm at 500 tests and I'm eating 7,000, let's say 5,000 calories, I stop gaining weight. I don't up the gear to 750 tests. I up the calories, to 5,500, and then I get a certain amount. Then I haven't been pushing the weight. Let me try to get stronger. I push my lifts, I get stronger, I make some progress, okay? I do this back and forth for a while, you know what I'm saying? Until I hit a plateau. Then I come off the gear and do it again. You can literally do this cycle in, cycle out, and continue making results for years on end. And if we so choose to, eventually you can say, you know what? I think I maxed out this certain look. Let me up the gear to this, or let me add another compound. And you kind of, that's where you go from there. Like, I've been taking less and less gear pretty much every prep since I started competing. And I'm continuing to make results, okay? I haven't taken gear now for about 7 months. You know what I'm saying? Been doing TRT now for maybe 3-4 weeks now. You know what I'm saying? So the reason I've continued to make results while taking less and less gear is I'm controlling the other variables better than I used to, okay? I used to slack sometimes with the meals, you know what I'm saying? In comparison to now, it's just like, in comparison to most people, I didn't slack at all. I always got all my meals in. But as far as pushing the calories, pushing the carbs, pushing the fats, pushing the protein, I may have took it a little easier on myself, you know what I'm saying? But I'm at a point where I can look exactly how I want. If I want to be 320, I can be 320. If I want to be 250 shredded, I can be 250 shredded, because I just get it. I get it, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a drug thing. I just get tired of people, well, look at Nick Walker. He must be taking this. Oh my God. Listen, the same people saying this are the ones taking the most gear, and then they look like shit. So why is it all the guys that take the most gear and say that all the pros take all this gear always look like shit? They always look like shit. And their excuse is genetics. Well, I just don't have good genetics. Well, then there you go. You answered your own question. So obviously, if it's your genetics, then it's not the gear. 2 people taking gear, and one looks like shit, one looks great, and then you say, well, it's because of the gear. But then they say, well, why don't you look like that? Well, it's because of my genetics. So stop saying the gear. It's not the gear, then it's your genetics. This is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Guys hit me up and like, I want to do this, I want to take this, I want to take this. Anytime I say, okay, let's back down, let's back up a little bit. You don't need this. Nothing's gonna happen when you take this. Let's do this instead. They kind of get turned off to me. It's like, oh, this guy is preaching low drugs. No, it's not low drugs. It's the proper amount. I don't preach low doses. I preach the proper amount. You know what I'm saying? If a guy is where he needs to be, and he wants to be an open bodybuilder, and he's been doing this a while, and I know he knows how to train, I know he knows how to eat, I'm going to give him a good cycle. It's not going to be low. It's going to be a good, hefty cycle for what he needs. But if you come to me and you want to compete in physique and you're 150 pounds, I'm not gonna load you up on 1200 tests and 600 EQ. I'm not gonna do it because nothing's gonna happen. That's like a second grader comes up to me, hey baby, I've been losing focus in class, and I'm like, yeah, let me give you 3 Adderall. Yeah, let me give you 3 Adderall for your third grade test or your second grade test. No, it's overkill. Will it help him? Maybe, but it's so overkill that it's against the point, right? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Same way, if an 8th grader is like, oh, I want to get a little stronger for basketball season, I'm not gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna give you some trend that'll make you strong. No, I'm gonna make him do some fucking push-ups. Then I'm gonna get him lifting some weights. I'm gonna get him eating before any of that. You know what I'm saying? So there's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have a headache, right? Oh, I got a headache. You got any ibuprofen? I'm not gonna be like, here, take 20. Why would you take 20? If you take 1, you'll feel a little better. If you take 2, you'll feel great. If you take 20, I mean, you probably could die. But if you don't, you'll feel like shit. It's like you take doses accordingly. You don't just crapshoot it and hope for the best. And there's too much crap shooting, hoping for the best. Nothing's gonna happen. You look like shit. Everybody that does these crazy cycles looks like shit. This shit drives me crazy, man. Just super frustrated because I just keep getting these juice heads just going crazy over gear. It's not that sexy. It's not that complicated. It's simple. You do simple cycles. This the same energy that you use to like obsess over what's this guy's cycle, what's his cycle. Let me YouTube videos. I want to see this guy's cycle. What's your cycle, bro? Don't care about my cycle. I have no cycle. Right now. But if I tell you that, you're gonna be like, oh, this big guy's lying. He's like 290 lean and he's telling me he's off gear. If it takes you a year to put on 5-10 pounds of muscle, why the hell would I come off for 7 months and then lose 30 pounds? Like, it doesn't add up. So if it's taking me a full cycle for a year just to gain 5 pounds of muscle, don't you think it would take me, if not a year, at least a good amount of time to lose that 5 pounds that I gained? If not, I would be going backwards. If I was to gain 5 pounds just to lose 20 pounds in a couple of months, and I kept doing this, okay, let me get on, gain 5 pounds of muscle, and then lose 20 pounds of muscle, get small, gain 5 pounds, I would be smaller now than when I started. If that's how it worked, I should be smaller now than when I started bodybuilding. It doesn't work like that. You shouldn't be losing anything. I get on, I gain a little, 5-10 pounds. When I get off, I might drop water weight, like 3 pounds of water weight, lose some fullness. I won't look as hard, and then when my strength might take a dip after like 4 weeks, then it goes right back up. Then when I get on, I continue making. If I was just to get on, make all these gains, and completely crash and lose all my gains and strength, go back on, get some gains, lose it, and keep doing this, I would never make any improvement. I would look the same or worse when I started. So why do people think if I come off gear at 300 pounds, I'm going to somehow turn into a 220 pounder? I'm going to just go from a super heavyweight to a middleweight overnight, come off. I could come off for 3 years and I probably wouldn't drop. I mean, I could still be 300, off for 3 years, but I would be a little chubby looking. You know what I'm saying? But if I was going to try to keep the same condition, I wouldn't drop below 280 if I was off for 3 years. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way, man. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like turn into like a gear rant. I'm just fed up with people just talking nonsense about gear that they don't understand. Listen, if you're a beginner, start off basic, man. 500 milligrams of test. To be honest, you'll probably just be good with that, because my cycle with 500 milligrams of test, and I started it with D-ball, 20 mgs of 20 or 25, whatever came with, whatever the pill was measured at. I think it was 20 because it was farm grade. And then for like the first month, I came off, just stayed on test 500 milligrams for the rest of the cycle, and I made crazy gains. And then from there, I got a little carried away. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little carried away. Not as much as some of these guys out here now, but for what I know now, I got a little carried away, and I might have hindered myself here and there, but I guess you live and you learn. You know, it wasn't a time where coaches were this affordable and accessible at the time. You know, if you couldn't afford the top Acetos and George Farahs and those guys, forget about it. You know, everybody wasn't a coach at the time. You know, you didn't have all these young, retired, or top level NPC guys that were coaching for good prices like now. Now it's easy to get a coach. If you hire me as the coach, it's very affordable. It's not going to win your pockets. But I've worked with a lot of top coaches, and I've been competing for a long time, been training for a long time, and I have a lot of knowledge from a lot of top coaches, all bundled together in one affordable package. You can't beat that. I work with top coaches, and I work with guys who've worked with top coaches, and you just learn a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now it's too easy and too affordable to get a coach that you don't have that excuse. You don't have that excuse. So it's a different era. I kind of learned the hard way, and it is what it is. I don't regret it. It's just it was just the times, you know what I'm saying? But eventually I found my way back, got some coaches, and I tapered down on doses, and I kept looking better and better. And you got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way, and you got to last, man. Don't burn out at age 21 and then not be able to compete again. Like, I hate to see shit like that happen. Guys with so much potential, and they have to cut their career short because of health reasons and shit like that. So I'll ramble long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and work out. Gonna be a leg workout, so probably gonna do a heavy squat. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be dope. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, leave some comments in the comment sections for any kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. Email me for online coaching at beattyfall@icloud.com. Follow me on Instagram at beattyfall. Okay, enjoy this leg workout. Some pretty intense and impressive, you know, poundages, if I do say so myself. You know, even though I'm natty right now, so show me some respect. Show me some natty respect. You know what I'm saying? Pushing these heavyweights natty, man. When I get back on, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something else. Oh man, enjoy this leg workout, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
What's your relationship with the smell me goods?
That's my boo right there. I don't need a house without that shit. I was thinking twice. That should give me the move. That shit wet.
Oh, she wet, huh? Oh. Oh, you good? Don't touch them though. But just keep a.
It was this moment when he knew he fucked up. Nah, but at this point, my knees hurt so bad, I was just trying to get through the set, so I knew it was over for the heavyweight. It was just gonna be high reps from here on.
Two more. Two or more. Nice. Good job, baby. Lightweight, high repetitions.
Nice, sir. Yeah. Let's do left out? Yeah.
How big is your arm, baby?
I'm not sure how much.
Right now, I have like 20-ish.